All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are tossing out the usual punditry, the gut feelings, all of it. Instead, we're letting pure, cold, hard data do the talking. We're going to let an AI break down an upcoming MLS clash and see what the numbers really think is going to happen.
So let's just jump right into the big question. Chicago Fire versus Orlando City. The algorithms have been fired up. They've crunched all the data and they've simulated this game thousands of times. They have a definitive prediction. So what is it?
Okay, so before we can unpack the AI's answer, we gotta quickly set the stage for the matchup itself. We're talking about a classic Eastern Conference battle going down at Soldier Field. And this is important. All the data, every single percentage we're about to look at, it's all tailored specifically for this game, on this night, in this stadium. Context is everything.
First things first, before we get into any of the fancy algorithms, we have to start with the most basic, most human factor in any sport.
I mean, it's a simple question, but it's absolutely crucial, right? An AI can have the most powerful model in the world, but it doesn't mean a thing if a team's best players are watching from the sidelines. So who's actually out for this one?
And wow, right off the bat, you can see a pretty clear imbalance here. Chicago is hit hard. 4 key players are out, impacting both their attack and their defense. Orlando, on the other hand, is only down 2 players. So on paper, you'd look at this and think, okay, clear advantage for Orlando, right? Well, hold that thought. So, with all those injuries factored into the equation, what does the AI actually have to say? Let's get to the heart of this thing.
Now, the prediction we're about to see doesn't come from just a single model. It's from something called a unified ensemble. The best way to picture this is to imagine a boardroom filled with different AI experts. You've got your random forest expert, your XGBoost expert, and a few others. They each look at all the data on their own, and then they all cast a vote on who they think will win. The final prediction is just their combined collective decision.
And here's that final vote. Almost a 48% chance of a home win for Chicago. A huge 40% chance of a draw. But, get this, Orlando's chances of winning? A tiny 12%. So even though they have that big advantage on the injury report, the AI collective says they have a very, very slim shot at actually winning this game. So, obviously, the big question is, why? Why is the AI so confident that Chicago will, at the very least, avoid a loss, especially with all those players out? Well, let's peel back the layers and see how it got to that conclusion. And this is where the story gets really fun. First, the AI looks at ELO ratings. That's basically a measure of a team's long-term strength based on their past results. And based on this, Orlando City is clearly the stronger team, with almost a 70-point lead. If this was the only number you looked at, you'd probably pick Orlando to win, no question. But this slide right here is the whole story. It's all about expected goals, or XG. For this specific game, the model is predicting that Chicago is going to create scoring chances worth over 3 goals. That's more than double what it expects from Orlando. The AI is essentially betting that Chicago's offensive power in this match is going to completely overwhelm Orlando's better historical record. And when the AI runs this match through its simulation 10,000 times, you can see that XG advantage play out again and again. Just look at the most common results that pop up. 3-1, 2-1, 4-1, 3-2. Notice a theme there? They are all high-scoring games, and they are all Chicago Fire victories. So let's put this all together. We've got injuries pointing one way, historical data pointing another, but a really strong prediction on offensive output. So what's the final, actionable takeaway from all of this? Well, the model actually translates its confidence into a specific number. It uses a formula called the Kelly Criterion, which is a popular method for figuring out how much to miss on a bet where you think you have an edge. And in this case, it suggests a hypothetical stake of $43.50 on a Chicago Fire win. Now, as soon as you see a dollar sign, you have to hit the brakes. And I'm going to read this directly from the report's disclaimer. These predictions do not guarantee outcomes and should not be considered financial or betting advice. Yep, the report couldn't be clearer about this. This whole analysis is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The data gives us a probability, not a certainty. It's so important to remember the risks involved and to always be responsible. So there you have it. The injury report suggested an Orlando advantage. The historical data suggested an Orlando advantage. But the AI's deep dive into the nitty-gritty of offensive potential points overwhelmingly towards a Chicago win, or, at the very least, a draw.
The models have spoken. But the real question is, will the beautiful game actually follow the script? Now, that's something the data can never predict.